From high stakes negotiations to managing complex client relationships, today's guest will feel very familiar to all of you.
Growing up in Bangalore, I was exposed to mix of cultures, and I developed curiosity about business and communication.
What stands out is Rahul's ability to balance growth with grounded leadership.
So, to me, luxury isn't about flashy add-ons. It's about little things. It's about making a client feel like they are the only person in the room.
Well, mis-selling unfortunately has become a dirty word in the insurance space, especially when it comes to dealing with NRIs and HNIs.
They appreciated that I had their best interest at heart, and that's the relationship I still nurture today.
We often hear the term value added services in your industry.
That's when they told me, you didn't sell me a policy, you sold me a peace of mind.
I guess it's not about winning a negotiation, it's about creating an environment where everyone feels like a winner.
The most important point of negotiation is that you avoid jumping to the point.
It's clear that your journey has been more than just, climbing the corporate ladder.
At the end of the day, it's all about the customer service.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. Now, if you've ever worked in the world of high stakes service where client expectations meet operational pressure daily, then today's guest is going to feel very, very familiar and also a bit legendary. Mr. Rahul Rane is a senior manager whose journey spans across insurance, real estate, service delivery, and strategic partnerships, all built over 13 plus years of actually being on the ground, figuring it out, and still showing up for his team and his clients day after day. But what really stands out about Mr. Rane, beyond the KPIs and the portfolio wins, is his ability to balance growth with groundedness. He's someone who doesn't just chase scale, he builds trust across B2B and B2C, across industries, and across every deal that needed both instinct and insight. So today, we're not just talking sales or service, we're talking mindset, we're talking leadership and what it means to evolve without ever losing your edge. So, Mr. Rane, first of all, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you so much, Tanay. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, sir. So, to start, sir, we're going to keep it real simple. Could you please take us through your journey so far, like how it started, what you've done over the years, and what brought you to where you are right now?
Of course, my journey has been a mix of learning, adapting, constantly evolving. Actually, I started my career in the leadership development space, working closely with corporates and students. The idea was to help individuals unlock their potential, whether it was through soft skills, training, personality development, or preparing future leaders. It gave me an early exposure to what makes people tick, how teams function, and how critical emotional intelligence is it in professional growth. Looking back, that phase really shaped my approach to communication and relationship building. And after that, I did work in multiple corporate sectors, and then I got an opportunity to be in Dubai, wherein I started my career as a facility management segment, and then it continued with real estate, and then finally it is with insurance segment. And see, over the period of time, I felt the urge to dive deeper into business and client-facing roles, and that led me into insurance and the financial service sector, particularly in high net worth individuals, which is like HNI segment. I found myself drawn to a complexity of wealth management, risk advisory, and premium services, especially when working with clients who have had high expectations. So serving HNIs and across geographies taught me a trust, discretion, and consistency, which are everything. It's not just about selling a policy, it's about understanding the long-term goals. So for me, it's all about, as of today, a long-term relationship, what I have with my client.
Yeah, very well said, sir. Long-term goals is something that when in terms of learning and clients, if we look at it that way, it's a bigger success, I feel, over a period of time. Sir, when you
Absolutely.
negotiate, yeah. Sir, when you negotiate, makes a negotiation successful for you?
See, negotiation, actually, that's a good question for me. Negotiation is never just about getting the best price. It's about building a long-term win-win relationship. Since I've always believed in long-term relationship, and that is the first thing which comes to me whenever I talk to any people, it might be any person, it can be a client of mine, you know, because when I walk into a negotiation, whether it's with an insurer or a vendor or a strategic partner, my mindset is very clear. It's clarity, value, and trust, which has always been there as a part of negotiation skills. So it's like I always start by understanding what both the sides truly needs. It's just not about the premium rates or pricing. It's what value, we bring into the table, the both of us. So I believe in the successful negotiations when both the parties leave the table with happy faces, and then they have we have like gained something from this meeting. So I always, come prepared while going for a negotiation, whether it's a data, market practice, or a clear understanding of my bottom line. But most importantly, is listening factor is always been a key role in my career. I always listen what the client or a person's expectation is, and that is when I put across my set of things, and to have a better understanding and then to come to a conclusion where the negotiation takes place. And see, I always try to negotiate with a long term view, and I don't believe in squeezing out short term wins at the cost of the future trust. A successful negotiation for me is where we walk away with a stronger relationship. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I think our viewers today would really learn from that, that it's about what they want rather than what we want to sell.
Definitely.
Sir, you've spent a major part of your career delivering services to HNIs. What does luxury or premium service mean to you beyond the buzzword?
Luxury or a premium service to me goes far beyond glossy branding or high price tags. It's about how you make someone feel. Working with HNIs over the years, I've always realized that what they value most isn't just about product or service. It's the experience, it's the confidence, that things will be taken care of, their preferences are understood, and that there are certain level of discretion, personalization, and how you engage with them. For me, premium services means anticipating needs before they are even voiced. It's about attention to detail, whether it's well-timed follow-up, a perfectly tailored solution, or just a peace of mind that they don't have to chase or repeat themselves. It's making the complex feel simple and effortless. See, most importantly, it's about trust. HNIs are all about trusting people. So it is not that everybody, all HNIs will trust everyone. It is all about how you build a long-term relationship with them. I have multiple HNI partners who are there today's date, and they are there with me for more than 7 8 years, wherein they always call me for either one or the other thing, and it is about the trust and long term relationship. And again, I like to repeat myself, it is being there at the time when they need you the most. So beyond buzzword, luxury services is about empathy, reliability, and precision. That's
Yeah.
what creates loyalty, and that's what separates service providers from true professionals.
Yeah, yeah. Providing them, making things simple for them when it might seem complex is actually one of the biggest tasks when you're dealing with such people.
True.
So we often hear the term value added services, but what does that really mean to you? Like, could you give us an example where it truly makes a difference?
Yes, definitely. See, for me, value added services aren't about throwing in the freebies or perks. It's about elevating the experience in solving problems your clients didn't even know they have had. For example, it's like it's when you go beyond the standard offering and start thinking from the client's point of view. What would make them easier? For example, what would surprise them in a good way? What would make them feel truly taken care of? These are the things what you need to think before, even before approaching a client. So let me give you a classic example. Once I was dealing with a high profile client who had multiple policies across the regions. So, the usual process involved a lot of back-end, process and paperwork. Instead of just sending the reminders or renewals, we built a customized portfolio summary, gave them a dedicated single point of contact, and offered concierge style support from claims to renewals to medicals. For that, we didn't even charge extra for the client because it was like a peace of mind and effortless coordination that was priceless, and that became the reason the client stayed with us year after year. So for me, value added services means being proactively involved, being thoughtful, and creating those little touches that make your client feel they are in the right hands. It often those things that don't show up on an invoice but make the big difference in the retention and referrals.
Very well said. So relationship building is never on any paper, but it's something that's probably the reason why the paper comes to your office because there is that
True.
relationship. Okay, sir, now a time for a little fun. We're going to ask you some rapid fire questions and we need you to answer in one word or one sentence, but as quickly as possible. So, are we ready?
Yes, for sure.
Lovely. So, what's your guilty pleasure snack?
Well, Indian snack,
Okay.
anything you can call it.
If you had to name one,
Let's say burfi.
Burfi?
Any burfi is fine, especially cashew burfi.
Okay. Last
Yeah,
thing you remember you searched on Google.
Nifty 50.
The song
That's
that,
always there.
yeah, every morning that's one check that a lot of us do.
Yeah, true.
A song that instantly boosts your mood.
Any late 90s songs. I'm just driving all alone sometimes, and then I just switch on these songs and it just boosts my mood.
Yeah,
And I'm happy.
yeah. One app you open way too often.
ChatGPT.
A word your team would use to describe you.
Great leader.
Yeah.
I can add something for this because I still remember when I left the company, I had a big portrait of myself with everybody signing, like more than 100 people.
Wow.
So they always admire me for that.
Yeah. One thing you pretend to understand but really don't.
Navigation.
True.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
with Google Maps in India taking you in different directions
I,
at
I,
different points of time.
true.
Most used emoji on your phone.
That's namaste
Lovely, sir.
most
So
of the
that,
time.
yeah, That gets us to the end of the rapid fire round. I think you were rapid and quick, so thank you so much for your responses.
Thank you so much.
So this gets us to our next phase of questioning, sir, and it starts with this question that I had in my mind that mis-selling has unfortunately become a dirty word in the insurance and wealth advisory space, especially when it comes to NRIs or HNIs who might not be familiar with the fine print. You spent over a decade building trust with exactly these kinds of clients across geographies. Could you please share a moment when you chose radical honesty over an easy sale and how that shaped the relationship?
Well, that's a very important question, and I'm glad you asked it because mis-selling has unfortunately damaged the credibility of an industry that, at its core, and it is meant to protect people. There was a time earlier in my career when I was sitting across a well-traveled NRI client. The expectation was very clear. He wanted high returns, something quick, and he had pitched a flashy, I mean, he was pitched a flashy offshore product by someone else. Honestly, I knew I could have taken an easy road and, closed the deal, but, it wouldn't looked great on paper. So instead, what I chose was a different role wherein I sat down with him, took a pen and a paper, and then wrote his entire requirement. And I explained him the lock-in periods it might be, exit penalties, tax implications, and even the liquidity risk, and which he didn't even consider. He was surprised at first because he didn't hear this side of the story from anybody else. So that particular day, of course, I didn't close the deal, but something more valuable happened. I earned his trust. And months later, he came back, not just for himself, but with referrals from his family and friends. And he told me, "You were the only one." I still remember this. And he was like, "You were the only one who didn't just sell to me. You advised me like it was your own money on the line." So that experience shaped how I approached every client since. For me, radical honestly isn't just about doing the right thing, it's about building relationships that last beyond transaction. I've been just telling for pretty, on this entire podcast that the relationship, it is just not built for a short term. It is always about long term, especially with HNIs, NRIs who are managing, whom I'm managing wealth across border. Transparency is not optional, it's the foundation of everything. So always I think from a long term point of view, and any client of mine, they know me because of the service what I have provided, and I provide them on a day-to-day basis, and I'm always there for them.
Yeah, so long term, like you were earlier also mentioning on that short term goal can sometimes not lead to the long term relationship that can be built.
Correct.
Mr. Rane, you recently joined Directors Institute, which honestly says a lot about your mindset. What made you say yes to learning again at this stage of your career?
Well, thank you. That's true, and I'll be very honest. Joining the Directors Institute was a very intentional decision for me. See, I'm at the stage of my career. I've had multiple hats from, leadership, from insurance sector, from real estate, from wealth advisory, and from entrepreneurship, and even brand building, it might be. But the deeper I went, the more I realized that true leadership isn't just about experience. It's about perspective, governance, and decision making at the
Yeah.
highest level. I was still remember I was searching for multiple the courses, and then I came across the Directors Institute, and I decided I will go ahead with Directors Institute because of that 1 hour program which was conducted. And basically Directors Institute gave me that particular lens to understand not just how businesses operate, but how they scale, sustain, and stay accountable in a long
Yeah.
run. I didn't join to collect another certificate. I joined because I genuinely believe that learning doesn't stop. In fact, the more responsibility you take on, whether you are advising HNIs, managing investor funds, or building your own ventures, the more important it is, it becomes to sharpen your strategic thinking.
Yeah.
Also, surrounding myself with leaders, board level thinkers, and industry experts has been a game changer. You grow by being in rooms where your current knowledge gets challenged.
Yeah.
So, for me, saying yes to learning again wasn't about where I am in my career. It was also about where I wanted to go next, and I
Yeah.
see this as an investment in the future. Thank you.
Lovely, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words and not just for sharing your experience, but keeping it so real. It's easy to talk about goals and roles, but today you gave us something deeper, the mindset behind the work and the values that keep it moving forward. So, really appreciate your time and honesty.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate Tanay for having me on the podcast today. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure is all
Lovely
ours, sir.
talking to you. Lovely
Likewise.
talking to you. Have
Likewise, sir. And to everyone listening, if this conversation made you pause, reflect, or see leadership in a slightly different way, share it with someone who'd enjoy it too. This is FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, stay future ready, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.